All right, welcome to our Temu haul. We got a whole bunch of cheap tools from Temu, and we're gonna see, quite frankly, is it worth it? And how does it stand up in some cases against tools that we already have that are, quite frankly, more expensive. So we're gonna go ahead and go over all that. In the meantime, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification icon for all of our newest videos. Let's get into this. All right, so let's check out our first item here, which is going to be a 43-piece screwdriver set. Let's check it out. Okay, so let's open this little guy up. Let's see what we got here. So, overall, the little plastic on there is pretty good. It seems pretty durable. Nice little case. Flip this over here. Oh, nifty. All right. So we got one that fell out. Okay, that's fine. All right, so looks like we have an assortment of just standard run-of-the-mill drivers in here. Nothing too interesting there. This was actually kind of neat. This is actually a magnetizer, so you can magnetize your screwdrivers and stuff like that. This is the demagnetized side, and this is the magnetized side. So you can do that. So that's pretty awesome. I don't think I've seen that in any cheap toolkits that I've picked up before. I think they have a little flex driver. It looks like this might actually be able to be used in an impact as well, but definitely uses for this, so that works. They have some smaller jewel screwdrivers in here. Everything in here seems pretty solid. I mean, just pretty much comparable to like Harbor Freight quality. Maybe a little bit better actually, so that's kind of a thing. And of course we have our screw bits, and they're screw bits, they do what they do. They're thankfully not hard to pull out, kind of a nice rubberized little deal here. Got a little handle on here for probably putting on your belt or something, I guess. So overall, I would say this one, it's a good solid set. Seems like the steel's good, nothing really too interesting to talk about. I mean, it's screwdrivers, right? You can't mess that up typically. All right, cool. So let's move on to the next one. All right, next one's going to be this little sander. So let's check this out. All right, so this is a little sander that I picked up on there, a couple bucks or something. But it wasn't very expensive. And so this is basically for when you have a situation where you want to sand something flat, but maybe it's like in an inconvenient space. This is going to handle that. So let's go and throw a piece of sandpaper on there and see how it does. All right, so got a little 400 grit. Oh, actually that, let's see if I can get that to the mic here. It's got some good grippy on it. All right, so it's here. Oh, that's nice. Kind of has a rubber feel to it on here, so it kind of just conforms with your hand. I could definitely see where this could be a serious benefit. Obviously, you need to cut down your sandpaper. You wouldn't use it like this, probably. I mean, I guess you could do that, I guess. But still, not bad. That one seems like that's actually going to be a really useful tool in here, so definitely be keeping this one around. All right, so we're going to be doing this drawing line ruler. This is the one we're going to be checking out now. This one is supposed to allow you to draw a line from the top of your board, so up here, and then down off the side, and then give you some sort of accuracy. Kind of like a 45 framing type of a ruler in a sense, but way better. So we're going to go ahead and put this together real quick, and we'll go ahead and draw a line and see how good it looks. Let's do this. Our two pieces here. So this one and this one. Looks like it kind of just goes in this little groove right here. So that appears to be the way to do it. And then there's some little screw holes right there. So let's go ahead and put this thing together. Alignment on here is really good. I do recommend when you're doing this though, hold this part here with your thumb. That'll keep it nice and in line here at the end, but it doesn't seem like there's any real deviation there. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So let's tighten these little guys down now that we got it all aligned. All right, now we're ready to test it. Let's see how it does. All right, so let's go ahead and check out and see how well this does. So we'll go ahead and strike a line up here. And then we're just going to go ahead and follow that line straight down here. I'll do that one more time over here because we're going to go over our next tool, which will be cutting these lines. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and take a quick close look at that. I mean, I'd say overall that's pretty accurate. Doesn't look like there's any deviation. It's a nice straight line. Looks like it's true. Let's double check. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and use my little guy here to go ahead and check to see if this is square. And yep, it's perfectly parallel here. So that looks good. Second attempt. Looking really good. So let's go ahead and check on the bottom. Looking good. And looking good. So yeah, that one's a win. All right, so for this next one, we're going to be checking out this flush cut trimming saw. I'm going to be comparing it against, actually, again, another more expensive tool that we have that we picked up a while back, and see which one performs better. This one is a tiny bit larger, so just out of fairness. Let's do this. Just go. All right, so let's check the flexibility of these, because if we're using it to cut dowels and things like that, we probably want it to be nice and, you know, flexible. So this is the one from Temu. So very scientific test here. All right, and then this is the higher quality one. You can see it definitely, for something that's probably about 7-8 times the cost, this one's definitely a lot thinner, a lot more flexible. So that's not bad. As a matter of fact, this is more like almost like a regular Japanese handsaw. Actually, it's like a little mini version of it. So probably a better comparison would be a Japanese handsaw. Matter of fact, let's check that out. We have a Japanese handsaw. So let's see how that does. Yeah, definitely much more flexible. So normally the little bit higher end ones, I mean, I know these aren't the most expensive ones that you can get, but as far as the market goes, these are definitely more flexible. And that does come into some important stuff when you're trying to do like angles and things like that. So something to kind of consider, this is going to be more firm, and it's going to kind of push back on you. You're going to have to kind of do that when you're cutting a dowel, so things to keep in mind. All right, let's go ahead and test it on a piece of wood. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use that line that we struck on here. Not bad. All right, let's go ahead and check it out here with the other one here that we have, this thinner one. Okay, so, all right, so what did we learn here? So first off is that the one that's from Temu here, being a little bit of a less flexible one, does have a tendency to cut a little bit easier lines. So that's actually a positive, because a lot of times when we're cutting with these, we're trying to maybe even cut a dovetail or something like that. This is not a dovetail saw, but a lot of people use them for dovetails, so there is that. But it does wind up keeping, because it's more firm, it winds up staying the line just a tiny bit better. This here, which is typically used more for like dowels, you know, cutting dowels and things of that nature, it of course being much more flexible, it has a tendency to drift off the line, even though it is a much more expensive tool. Like I said, probably about 7-8 times more expensive than this one. So that's kind of interesting. So definitely a major win for this one if you're needing to cut straight lines. For dowel cutting, I think it would work, but you're definitely going to have to put down some serious masking tape before you actually use that, where this one's just going to do that naturally. Like I said, it's a lot more like a regular Japanese styled saw. So if you're looking for something that's between this and this guy's going to come right here in the middle. It's a little best of both worlds, but not as strong as either world. So it's one of those things. Not a bad saw. Definitely recommend that one. I think it's a really nice beginner saw, and get you into the whole Japanese saw stuff for cheap. So there you go. Can't complain about that. All right, let's move on. All right, for the next one we're going to look over is going to be these little utility knives, or box cutters in essence. And we'll go over those, so let's do that. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. Right off the bat, we can see that we've got a little release here. Opens up pretty easily. It's plastic. See if you guys can hear that. This seems to be an aluminum of some sort, and then just regular old razor on here. Kind of like the fact that you go and they put the little rubber on there for safety, so we'll pull that off. And there you go. So, and apparently that rubber could just sit on there because that's a fairly tough plastic. Actually tougher, it seems like, than the case, but that's okay. And they got a little belt clip on here for fun, I guess. Looks like blade replacement. Is blade replacement? I think this is a blade replacement. Yep, that's a blade replacement. So push that and then pull out. So not bad. All right, let's go and try it and see how sharp they actually give these things to you as. So it's always important to break down your trash before you throw it out. Me, I'm a soda addict. Ooh, that would end nice. Let's see how we do here. There we go. Not super sharp, but you know what? If you're using it for stuff like this, it's going to do just fine. Let's do a slash test and see how it does. Yeah. I'd say that's a win. That seems to work really good. No complaints there. And they sell these in 1 and 3 packs on Temu. So, and again, just a few bucks for these. So totally worth it in my opinion, especially as often as you're probably going to lose these around your shop. I'd say, yeah, get a 3-pack. There it is. Let's move to the next tool. So the next thing we're going to be reviewing here for the Temu haul that we did is this. All right, so this is a little mechanical pencil that's good for woodworking. It comes with yellow, red, and then just a standard mechanical tool pencil that you'll find in a lot of woodworking shops. I think I paid for my nice one, I think I paid probably like 20 bucks for it. Plus I paid like, again, a few bucks, it wasn't anything. Anyway, it's normal random stuff. I mean, you know, I use a mechanical pencil, I'd hope. So anyway, we have yellow, red, and then we have, of course, the standard pencil color there. So let's check this out and see how well these actually draw. So first thing I noticed when I pulled this apart was that's a little tiny pencil sharpener that comes with it. That's kind of cool. Just comes right off this little cap here. And it looks like we might be able to put leads. Oh, there's already lead in there. Interesting. All right, cool. So I guess we will go and sharpen that up and see what we got going on here. I'm just going to do it this way real quick. Clearly you could do this while it was in the pencil, but you know, whatever. I do what I want. All right, so let's get that in there, and then, yeah, oh, that worked just fine. Now that we got it in the pencil, we'll actually show it like you would normally do it. Should be this. There we go. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and test this out and just see how it draws. Okay, that is a good solid line there. So it seems the lead is of good quality, so that's important. All right, so let's go ahead and change out for one of the other ones here. It's a nice little slide-on case. Kind of dig that. All right, go ahead and get one of the yellows. See how that does. I know yellow is a little bit lighter. That's probably going to be really hard to see on camera, but yeah, yellow looks really good. If you're doing that on a dark wood or something, that's going to show up really well. So that's kind of nice. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's do that on a dark wood, shall we? Here we go. We got a cut off here from some walnut. So let's go ahead and test out the yellow on there. Maybe not. Yeah, I mean, it shows up, but it's really light. So I think I like my white ones a little bit better. This does show up really good, though, on a light wood, which is kind of interesting, but does not show up that good on a dark wood. All right, so that's all the fun and games with the yellow. Let's try this with the red. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you can. Oh yeah, you can definitely see that. I mean, that's clear as day. See how that looks on a dark wood. There we go. And on the dark wood, it came out looking pretty good. As you can see, here's the yellow over here, but that red, it just stands out. It doesn't seem to matter what color it is. So really dig that red. That's pretty awesome. All right. So I think that about covers how this works. So I'm going to put this back together and move on to the next tool. For this one, we're going to be looking at a caliper that we got from Temu. This caliper is very cheap. It's, like I said, a few bucks, kind of like everything else in this haul is like generally under $5, just so you guys know. First impressions on this one here before we actually get into how it works. It's plastic. It feels cheap. That doesn't mean it works badly, but you know, when you have something like this probably weighs 3-4 times the amount that this does. This weighs almost nothing. You can't feel it. And they do not include the batteries, so make sure that you order some batteries when you go get this one. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to measure out how thick this is on the high-end calipers, and then we're going to measure it out on the Temu calipers, and we're going to see which actually does which. So let's get to it. Just make sure we're zeroed. We are. Check here. 3.2. 3.20. Okay. So it might just be off by a little bit. Let's check our calibration. Make sure we're good. Zeroed it out. But one more time. 3.1. So looks like it may have a small deviation in it. It's not bad. Keep in mind that wood does have a little bit of flex, so it could be that I'm just happening to hit the 3.1 versus 3.2. Overall, I would say it's reasonably accurate. I would not say it's awesome accurate like a more expensive model. So, but then again, for something you're probably picking up for under $5, you can't really complain too much. I mean, really seriously, that's probably close enough for the majority of woodwork you're going to wind up doing. Even with laser work, you probably don't need to be that accurate in all reality. So now I'm going to get a whole bunch of hate comments for that. But anyway, that one's not bad. I'm going to say that this one's okay. All right, so then we have this little, which is basically a screw bit holder to go and do different angles. So let's take a look at it. So pop that out all the way down to here, and now we can go into our angles. This one feels pretty good. I mean, overall, I mean, this one's actually a nice metal, it seems. I don't really feel like this is gonna like really break on you anytime soon. I think this one's gonna be good to go. So on that one, I'm going to say that one's pretty much an easy one. That's just going to work. So, you know, if it doesn't feel cheap, it's probably going to be okay. So that's normally how things like that work. I don't think we need to test this one. I mean, it is what it is. So let's move on to the next one. All right, so for our next one, we're going to be doing some plug cutters. So we're going to go ahead and put these in over on the drill press and well, drill us out a plug. Let's check it out and see how good Temu did on these ones. All right, so we got a little plug cut there, so we'll go over and saw that out and see what it looks like in the end. All right, so we got our little plug in here, so let's go ahead and we'll use our Temu saw. All right. Looks like we got ourselves a plug. Look at that. Nice, round. Looks like it'd pop right into a little drill hole so you can cover up your screws and everything. I'd say that one's definitely a winner. Definitely a winner. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, and the one thing that we always hate as woodworkers is drilling too deep, and masking tape's okay, but these actually make life a little bit easier. So basically these come in a variety of different sizes. It's like a little package that you get. Like for instance, we got a 5/16 here, we've got a 7/16 here, and they're all kind of, looks like probably laser written in there. Yeah, it feels like that might be laser written. So I don't expect those to wear off, but yeah, anyway, we can put these on the bit and then that becomes our depth gauge. So let's go and try it out. Cord. Okay, so to put one of these together is pretty easy. Just figure out what your depth is that you want. Let's say we want to get to about here. You just take your little Allen wrench, you screw it on, and if they're a good quality one, which these ones do feel like they're pretty stout, and that's on there, then that shouldn't slip at the end of the day. So let's go ahead and try that in a board real quick and see if it slips at all. All right, so let's go ahead and drill into this board and see how far we can get. It looks like got that right before the end of the board, so it's going to be perfect. So there we go. I'm pushing on that and it's not moving at all. So it did good. Did good. Perfect hole. Exact measurement that we went for there on our random measurement. And it's not going anywhere. So yeah, those are definitely a win. Definitely buy those. Like seriously. Those things are awesome. All right. Let's go ahead and go on to the next tool. For this next tool that we're going to be doing from the haul is we're going to be doing this drill bit sharpener. So I've seen these around for a few years. I've always been kind of skeptical on whether or not these would be really that cool or not. And, well, we're going to find out. So let's go ahead and get to testing this one. Okay, so let's go ahead and test out this drill bit here that's been abused about as much as most of these have been. Generally take pretty good care of this set because we don't use these. We normally use brad points. But a lot of people do, so let's check this out. Okay, so we got a good hole in there. Took a little bit to get through, so we can tell it could use probably a little bit of sharpening, right? So, to my understanding of how these types of things work, put that on there, put this in here like so. Okay, let's see here. Well, we definitely have a cut that's been done on there. The question is does this really help the drill be more effective? We're going to find out. Oh, wow. That was like butter. I actually went all the way through on that one. Yeah, that definitely helps. That definitely helps. So I'm going to say that one's a win, despite the fact that it does have a lot of chatter. It doesn't seem like that really affects its ability to sharpen. So I'm going to say that's a win. So good product. Let's move on to the next ones. All right, our next product that we're going to be testing from Temu is these nail pullers that they have. Now, I personally have never used nail pullers before. I mean, that's what like the back of a hammer is for, in my opinion. But hey, you know what? Maybe you like them. Who knows? But anyway, point in fact being is it looks like a pretty cool little tool. We'll go test this out, see what we think of this. Okay, so let's go ahead and drill in this little, it's a roof nail actually. Okay, so your nail's in. Let's go and see if we can pull it out. First thing. Oh, that was actually kind of nice. Let's get a little deeper. Let's see how it does deeper. Apparently there's a bunch of different, oh, that's probably how you're supposed to use it, I bet. There you go. There you go. So, yep, that one works. And actually, that's probably about as easy as really doing it from there. Let's do that one more time here. Oh yeah, nice janky nail in there. Everybody loves those, right? So let's just get underneath there. Oh, clip, pull. Oh, that is nice. That is nice. Okay. Yes, if you do a lot of stuff with nails, I might say pick some of these up because this doesn't always work and this is really thin. So this actually can kind of get into spots and it'll actually grip right here. It'll actually grip the nail right there, the stem of the nail. So this part right, sorry, this part right here. So yeah, no, these actually are pretty awesome. So I don't know if this is a must-have tool for the shop, but I definitely would say it's got to be up there. It's got to be up there. This is I can't believe I didn't have one of these before. All right, cool. Let's move on. We got some more products to do. 3D printing pen that they have available on their website. This one costs a couple of bucks more than the rest of the stuff does. I'd say I think it's just like in the $10 range, if I remember right. Everything kind of comes in the package that you need. Has the USB cable, so that's where you can use the item, the pen itself, and then it comes with some consumable strands to kind of get you started. So this will be, I think, a pretty fun one to do. So I'm going to actually hand this one over to the kids and let them have a blast with this. We'll see how this comes out. Let's do it. All right, so the kids got done playing around with the 3D printing pen, and now I want to go ahead and have them do the review for us. So what did you think of it, Edward?
Well, it was fairly easy and it was nice, very fun, and that's all I gotta say.
Well, there you go. As you can see, you definitely could build some stuff with it, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Yeah. You think if you had more time with it, you could have made something even cooler?
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. But hey, we made it pretty cool too. So
Definitely
you can see that here on the screen. So definitely another product to take a look at over at Temu. Again, really cheap. I mean, it didn't cost really much of anything. It works well, and getting the little filaments, I think is what they call these, for that's just a few bucks for replacement filaments, and you get like a ton of them with it. So that's definitely a lot of fun. Well, on that note, let's get to our next product that we're looking over. Okay, this next tool or utility item, I guess we would say in this case, is going to be a LED flashlight. This is a rechargeable flashlight, and it comes with a little charger in the box. So you have our little dealie here. And then this is our flashlight. Flashlight has a zoom in, zoom out capability that allows you to make the light a lot more narrow if you're all the way out, or a lot skinnier, or a lot wider rather, when you have that in. It has 3 modes. It has bright, dark, and flashing. So that's basically how that one works. So pretty simple. Looks pretty durable. I mean, it's made out of plastic, but it seems like a good thick plastic. So I think this one's going to be pretty good. Let's go ahead and show you how the light looks. So this is our back wall. So we're going to go ahead and put this on wide beam. As you can see, that's lighting up the place nice. And that's about 30 feet back to that back wall. About 20 to the fountain. So we're going to go ahead and zoom on in here. There we go. As you can see, that is lighting that up just fine. And if we want to hit that back wall, we're already hitting the back wall, but let's see how bright we can make this. I see a pesky animal over here. Look at that. Yep, right there. Actually, that's my dog, but you know, whatever. Same thing. Just kidding. Love my dogs. But yeah, as you can see, this thing is super bright. So needless to say, not bad. I think we've just paid a few bucks for this one, and honestly, pretty impressed, all things being said. You can see my cool barn back there. Those of you that are watching the channel know this barn. Yeah, that's the same barn. Anyway, so yeah, the light is freaking awesome. So definitely something to check out. Not exactly a tool, but definitely a cool item to have. All right, so for our next, not really tool, the rest of these aren't really tools. These are just kind of, I guess they'd be tools. It depends on how you look at it. But I kind of want to categorize these ones towards the end. So this one here is actually going to be a LED nail lamp. So to give you kind of a perspective, before you wonder why in the world am I showing you guys a nail lamp, it's LED nail lamps are UV lights. So it's supposed to work with UV resins that you put on nails, or maybe just UV resin you're using for projects. So I don't really need to do my nails, but I definitely am going to be doing some resin projects that are going to be using UV resin. So this is basically what it kind of looks like. Very flexible, kind of put it where you need it. USB USB plug here at the end, light on the other end. So we'll go ahead and test this on some UV resin and see how that looks. So let's get to that. Okay, so these have been sitting here for a little while and getting nice and hard underneath the little temu UV light. So let's go ahead and check them out and see how they came out. All right, so I got them out of the little UV light there, and I would say these actually came out pretty good. It's actually my first time making any sort of earrings, so it's kind of a fun endeavor. I'll go and show you what the result was on there. There we go. So that's the result, and as we can see, we got a really nice looking set of earrings here. Here's the other one. Try to make something nice for the wife, you know, while we're doing all this. So there you go. So yeah, I mean, I would say the UV light definitely works. I mean, it's a lot smaller than what I thought, but you know what? That's kind of okay. If you're doing something really small, like nails as an example, which is actually what that's intended for, or you're doing maybe like an earring or maybe a pendant or something like that, that's going to fit, you know, in a radius like this by maybe this. I think that the light really does actually a really good job. Matter of fact, I actually have an LED hardening light that I have over here that we normally use for these. And that one, it takes a while for it to kind of do what it needs to do. And that's got like a bunch of little UV light things on it. Where this thing just has the one right there. And that one does seem to be on a little bit of a deeper spectrum. It's a little darker. And I have a feeling that might be part of the reason why it works a little bit better. As far as like doing this for larger UV projects, I mean, it only has a small focal, so it's very about yay big roughly. I don't think that that's going to be good for a large project. But I think for small projects, like, you know, like doing jewelry and stuff like that, which is part of the reason why I picked this, I felt that it was like really good jewelry UV. I think it does an awesome job. So definitely check it out. If you're doing smaller stuff, I think it's going to be great, especially if you're just doing kind of like one-offs where you're just kind of making them, then selling them, or giving them to friends, or whatever it is you do with your UV stuff. I think that that light might just be a winner. So we'll go ahead and put the price up here on screen so that way we have that up there. And now let's go to the outro and I'll tell you all my thoughts. All right, so are Temu tools worth it? Well, I think all the tools, the saws, all that stuff, I definitely think the screwdriver set was awesome, by the way. I'm just throwing that out there. The collars for the drill bits definitely is worth its mention. I mean, that was just solid. I mean, I bought some off from Amazon a little while ago, and I can tell you what, I paid about 3 times more for those, and they broke the first time I used them. Like literally, it just stripped out the little screw thing. On those ones, the steel is really well designed. It's very tough. It took a very good torquing. Definitely a must-have for pretty much any woodworking shop. The only thing I found that was really kind of like a little was the calipers. The calipers, I think they did okay, but I mean, if you have the extra money, I'd probably go and spend it on some higher-end calipers, kind of like the eye gauge ones. They're going to probably be like, I think they're like $40, $50. where like the one that we picked up I think was less than $5. I mean, there is quite a bit of a difference between the two, both from look, feel, and capability. And it seems like maybe measuring accuracy might be a small part of it. So things to keep in mind, not everything on Temu is going to be awesome. But what I can tell you is that most things like this, where we have like screwdriver sets and stuff like that, you pretty much can't go wrong. So that would be kind of my conclusion. We're going to definitely have links down below underneath the description area and on the video comments area. So if you want to come check out any of these tools, please feel free to click on the links. It does help the channel out, so we do appreciate it. In the meantime, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and most importantly, stay safe in the shop.